he stands still. Yet in that stillness, a story unfolds. One glance, one pose, one frame, and an emotion lingers. Kim Taehyung, known to many as V, is more than a performer. He is aesthetic tension, curated moods, intimate visual poetry. What transforms an image into art? What does it mean when fashion becomes feeling, when light becomes longing? This is the story of V's visual universe, of mood, color, style, and soul. Every artist has roots. Taehyung was born December 30th, 1995, in Daegu, South Korea, raised in Gyeochang, a boy with eyes that observed, a boy who would later see beauty in small things. In early BTS days, his style was more conventional, stage uniforms, group concepts. But even those moments held glimpses, a tilt of the head, softness in his expression, a color filter, shadows and light. Over the years, through albums, through eras, we saw shifts, from bold patterns to subtle textures, from flashy stage wear to vintage knits, from uniformity to individuality. What shaped those shifts? Influences: classical art, painters like Van Gogh, Egon Schiele, abstract expression, photography, film, mood boards, things you see and others only feel. Vante, the alter ego of Taehyung, a name born from admiration, combining Van Gogh and photographer Ante Badzim. It is where V steps beyond singing, beyond the stage, into his quiet visual world. Through Vante, he paints, not always literal painting, but through brushstrokes, color experiments, abstract forms. His paintings sometimes have abstract facial features, vibrant color contrasts, motifs that feel raw yet deeply intimate. Then there is photography, the Vante photographs which he shares. Nature, windows, shadows, textures, often muted light or warm vintage hues. He captures moments, a raindrop, a window frame, a reflection, old walls, empty chairs. These are not just pictures, they are moods. In these visuals, there is no rush. They invite you to slow down, to observe, to feel. Fashion for V is not just clothing. It is part of the syntax of his visual language. The way he blends textures, velvet, silk, leather, the choices of silhouette, oversized coats, delicate scarves, soft knitwear, playful layering, unexpected combinations. And magazine covers, Harper's Bazaar Korea, Sure Magazine, the stylists, the lighting, even hair color play roles in visual storytelling. It's never just what he wears, it's how he becomes part of the image. In music videos, Taehyung's visual poetry becomes motion. Scenes where light filters through windows, slow motion movement, vintage filters, dreamy sets. Songs like Rainy Days, Layover, his solo visuals, V-led cinematography, there's always a mood. He doesn't always need words when the imagery tells part of the story. Camera angles, sometimes wide to show loneliness, sometimes close to catch vulnerability. Movement, stillness, pauses, letting a moment hold. These cinematic choices reflect his emotional themes: nostalgia, longing, introspection. Every video is like a painting in motion. What makes visuals poetry is not just what is seen, but what is felt, and V's aesthetic resonates deeply with ARMY. Fans say his visuals give comfort. They say they see themselves in shadow, in quiet moments, in images that feel like memories. His photos aren't just glamorous. Many are candid, simple, plain spaces, unpolished textures. That openness gives space for fans to lean in, to bring their own stories. It feels like he's sharing not just an image, but a piece of soul. And when fans recreate his photos, when fan art emerges, when light bombs in concerts glow in colors that reflect moods he evokes, that emotional feedback loop strengthens the poetry. From debut days to years later, his visuals have evolved, but certain threads remain: subtlety, mood, authenticity. The signature is not to overwhelm, but to whisper, not to yell, but to hold, not to dazzle only by glam, but to draw beauty from vulnerability and style from sincerity. In fashion, in art, in photography, V pushes boundaries, but always in ways that feel like extension of himself. And this means his legacy will not be just of moments, but of moods, not of looks, but of feelings, not of visuals, but visual poetry. An image can be still, but in Taehyung's world, it breathes. A color can fade, but in his frames, the after-image lingers. A style can change, but the heart behind the aesthetics pulses on. Visual poetry. That's what Kim Taehyung writes with light, with fabric, with silence, with pose. He shows us that beauty is not only in what is seen, but in what is felt. What frame, what photograph, what look of his has touched your heart? Which image do you return to again and again? Thank you for walking through this universe with me. If you enjoyed this journey, share your most poetic V moment in the comments. Until next time, keep seeing, keep feeling.